Hi, I'd like to share with you today something that's helped me throughout my whole life. It's helped me understand what love really is. It's helped me understand who I really am. It's helped me live my life in trust, knowing that life has my back, that life does supply me all my needs. So when I was a child, I was in a country called Zimbabwe. I was born there. I have a sister and we used to play a lot together, and I used to think quite deep thoughts in those days, as I probably do now. And I used to ponder on the nature of my existence and her existence. In a deep knowingness, I knew there was only one, but she seemed to be separate to me. And it used to puzzle me because I just somehow had the understanding that there was only one. But she was definitely separate to me because, we used to play, we used to fight. She used to pull out my hair. That's why I have no hair today. And I used to feel the pain of that. And so there had to be something outside of myself. And I sort of had a vision one day of maybe this is the way reality is. That we are fingers on a hand. Maybe we are all separate fingers, but we have a common hand. So this is what I thought of as a child, that there are different fingers on a hand. And we can name this finger John, and that one Christine, because that's her name. And although we appear separate, we have a certain common connection, which is that oneness, which I had an intuitive knowing about. Although at the external level, we're very separate. Now, fast forward many years, probably 40 years, and I did a mind power course. And on the mind power course, they taught us about brainwave activity. And they showed us a graph of brainwave activity. And I realized that I can superimpose that graph on my hand map model. So in the brainwave activity, you have a graph that goes from 0 cycles a second up to about 40 cycles a second, cycles per second, or hertz. At 0, you're dead. So brainwave activity starts very low down here and goes up to 40. When you're in a normal thinking state, as we are right now, you're in what's called the beta brainwave range. And the beta brainwave range goes from approximately about 14 cycles a second up to 40 hertz. And that is known as beta. Now you have high beta and normal beta. And I realized that I can superimpose that on this graph over here. So we have beta, and beta is divided into two, high beta and normal beta. Beta. And what is beta? Beta is a left brain activity. It's based in time. It's based in separation. It's the linear processing of information. That's really what beta is all about. Beneath beta, you get a very powerful activity, and that was given the first letter of the Greek alphabet, which is alpha. Alpha, because it's very powerful. It's the first one that was discovered, alpha. And alpha goes down to about 7 cycles per second, 7 hertz. That is maybe more right brain, slightly more integrated, but more right brain. It's your color, it's your artistic side, it's more emotion, it's more feeling. So generally from the age of 0 up to about age of 6, we're predominantly in these lower brain waves. From 6 onwards, you develop your egoic mind more, your rational mind, your time-based mind. Language becomes very strong after the age of 6, 7. So that's all up there. Separation, that's left brain. This is more right brain. And beneath alpha, there's a very interesting brain state, a very important brain state. And that starts at about 4 cycles a second, 4 hertz, and that is theta. And you'll notice something unique about theta. Remember I spoke about the fingers on the hand and they're joined in the body. Well, theta is what's called non-local. where these are based in time, particularly the left brain is based in time, but also your creative brain. But theta is non-local, what's called non-local. It's everywhere all at once. So we can look at this also in another way. We can say, well, these are waves on the ocean, and this is the ocean itself. So this is the ocean, and these are the forms of the ocean. These arise out of the ocean, and as such they're transitory, where this is eternal. So this is eternity, that's transitory. When we get very upset or very excited or very anxious, our brain rhythms tend to go up, and that is when we become more separate. So our brain rhythms increase. So if my sister and I had a little child fight, we would become very separate from each other. That's war. War. We have war. When you are involved in a creative artistic process with someone, you get very close. The distance between people diminishes. But interesting enough, when you're in the theta brain state, you have what's called oneness. Oneness of perception. Now I have a definition for love. While love can't be defined in your mind, here's my try at it. Love is your sense of oneness. Love is the sense of oneness in your awareness. So this theta, this ocean, is actually an ocean of love. And this is our source. This is the source that supplies all our needs. It comes from love. This is our true being. And this is our human side. Humans. One human interacting with another human. And interesting enough, the way the world is programming us at the moment is fear, because fear is false evidence appearing real. False evidence appearing real, which is I am what I do, I am what I have, I am what other people think of me, I'm very vulnerable, I have to fight to defend myself, it's about competition, survival of the fittest. That's all to do with this realm over here. False evidence appearing real, where love is the true source of our consciousness. This is conditioned consciousness. A wave is conditioned form. This is unconditioned form. The ocean is unconditioned while the wave is conditioned. The more sugar we consume, the more anxious we become. Interesting enough. America is the country that consumes the most sugar in the world. They're also the country that has created the most wars on this planet. There are certain stimulants that elevate our brain rhythms. Things like sugar and caffeine, they are stimulants. And they take us into a state of separation. When we are in a state of separation, we need more, we consume more, we're more egoic in our thinking, in our nature. As we relax and we connect, say for example, I was having a fight with my sister, and then we'd relax and play a game together, there will be a greater sense of connection, but also your needs diminish. You consume far less when you're in a alpha theta state than when you're in a beta, particularly a high beta state. This is when you go retail therapy. This is when you go to the shopping mall and buy that extra whatever that you don't need. That's retail therapy, because we're looking for our needs to be met from the outside. We look for our source on the outside, where here our source is on the inside. And I believe that in order to survive as a species, we have to stop looking outside of ourselves to have our needs met and start to realize that this is reality. This is our real source. The more we lower our brain rhythms, we do it through eating organic food that doesn't excite the thought patterns. We go to meditation, which is a way of calming the mind down. We go to centeredness. We go to practicing presence in our life. We go to practicing gratitude in our life. we go to cultivating a perception of acceptance in our life, which is love. These are all things that bring us into alignment with the ocean of life. And from this state of perception, our doingness arises out of what is best for the whole rather than what's best for just the individual. This is a destructive mind state. This is a sustainable mind state. This is where healing takes place. This is what creates dis-ease. This is what creates ease. Thank you for listening to this today, and hopefully this has been helpful to you.